Hey everybody, it's me Alura. So let's talk about the Syrian star seeds for just a little bit, because the Syrians out there have asked me so many times, Allie, please do a video on Syrian star seeds. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to share it with you, since I've covered so many of the other star seeds time and time again in my blogs, www.starseedchildren.blogspot.com, and just going through it with people in their soul readings too, helping them to have that higher understanding of who they really are. So Syrians, it's really super awesome, because in Sirius they come from this advanced world. They are living, almost the same as we are, but just in a higher form. So what I mean by that is that, yes, in my one star seed video, I was explaining to all of you how here it's a physical vibration and you are really just energy vibrating at 3D. If you could learn to expand the mind, you could do so many things with that, to the point of not even needing food or sleep like me, because I don't ever sleep, and I really have no desire to ever eat either. And that my family can vouch for. It's been months and months, and I'm still going strong, because I'm so full of that vibrant energy. When you can channel into other realms and higher planes, that becomes your source, and you can self-renew and self-heal, and it is amazing. And it's good to have witnesses too, that way when people do question your position, they can go straight to the people that know you the most, and they can vouch for you. Because it's hard to believe, it really is, and it takes really opening up the mind and expanding it to understand. When you finally understand in an awakening, a full-on awakening, that you're just energy, you don't have to do all of the things that humans do any longer. So the Syrians, they're a bit the same. Just like we all interact here as a collective consciousness, they do the same thing. As we have an imagery that we project to those that we want to be visible to, they have the same. But for them, when they're born into that world, they are sharing in a family setting where they begin at a stage of youth. They grow, and their society is so advanced. When I tell you this, I mean it. I mean, they have wonderful technology that here, it is nothing. We are like in the Stone Age still, compared to what the Syrians have. Syrians were such a great influence on our society in the beginning. They really were. And even the Dogon tribe can vouch for that, because they worship those who visited from Sirius. And that was because, wow, these are advanced beings that have the ability to travel their image holographically. So to them, appearing holographically to someone here on Earth, they would question it. They would think that this was a mighty spirit or God even. But really just a star being that had the ability to interject into other realities. So in all, the Syrians have a wonderful reality. Their world is full of technology, where they have these wonderful apartments that they stay in. They have the ability to send their orders outside of this compartment by their technology, by their computer systems. All they have to do is type in what they want. It comes right to them through this exchange system that they have set up there. There are so many different races in Sirius right now as we speak. It started out with a larger blue race of felines, and then we had a smaller little blue race of people, and they are very close to the human genome. They really are inside their DNA. But however, they have this way of being able to understand that they are made out of energy, and to send that energy where they want it to go. Those who have reached that stage, because they have their own government and their own council, just as we do. But this government and this council here is so dead set on keeping everybody asleep. While the Syrians want people to grow, but they want people who want to stay in that world, those who openly choose to, who volunteer to play a role. So yes, they have their own medical centers where they teach how to heal ailments and illnesses that may come in, different viruses and bacterias that come in. They also have a place where, they're working on education You know, they have their own education systems, and it's set up where it can be projected into each compartment. And those who are living in that apartment, you know, it's modified for these groups. So you have a youthful stage where they're learning a certain amount of wisdom, and then they have a wide range of a group who are learning another. And it goes in those 3 stages until finally they go through this very vivid testing, and they can prove whether they're awakening or whether they are the type of soul that wants to stay put and play some other role. Then they'll be classified by their testing which department or area they're going to go off into to play a role in that society. So it's a very beautiful place, and it's got very tall buildings. You know, they're able to kind of zip and shoot straight across into wherever it is they want to go with a thought, because they're not confined by time or space. And when they are communicating, you know, a lot of those messages get projected off into the clouds that are above in their very gassy environment. So there, you know, they are very interactive, very caring, loving beings. They're very sensitive. They don't like confrontation. They don't like anything that's hurtful. They don't want anybody to be affected by negativity. They try to protect and shield. They actually have their very own shield of protection around that world. And that helps to filtrate any really bad negatives that may come in, because they've had their share of negative entities to infiltrate their worlds. And they've had to fight back with that, with all that they are, using their intelligence, their consciousness to do so. And they do so as a collective group. So everyone that's in the environment is already aware and already knowing that there is a great shield that surrounds and protects it. And they all have to have a part in having the will and intent to keep that up and going. And that will usually come through the council, who's invisible to those that are, you know, around them, just like it is here. You can't see the spiritual council, neither can they. And that's because they want it to be that way. It's sort of like a shadow government, so to speak. So the starseeds that come from there are usually souls that want to play some kind of role in it, helping Earth to advance their technology or their understanding or wisdom, just like they are doing there in Sirius. They're trying to constantly expand. So here, you know, they're doing the same. They're doing the same because they really want people to not know, but they want people to buy the new stuff and slave themselves for it, instead of getting a chance to play a role in the development of the world around them. But in Sirius, they're very kind, very loving, very helpful to one another. Whomever wants to be in that environment is going to play a great role in taking on any kind of job, you know, that are very similar to the jobs that we have here, just in a very different way. And they do have the ability to travel. Those that are in their government and in their council have the ability to travel. The others not so much, and that's because they volunteer to focus on being in that reality itself. Just like there are those here that have really set their mind on staying put here to be a part of the permanent reality on Earth. So it's a lot of similarities, except they are at a faster vibration. That's why they have advanced so very quickly. That's why a lot of their society and their buildings are not visible to the human eye for those that are looking into it. You know, if they're, let's say NASA went up there and got to see into that world, they're not going to see anything there because they're looking for the wrong thing. They're supposed to be looking for something that's highly spiritually advanced. But you send humans up there and they're looking with human eyes, and those humans may not be psychically advanced to acknowledge those things. Unless you sent up a whole group of advanced psychics, then more than likely, you know, they would pick up on that extrasensory perception, and they would be able to notice that there is something going on another frequency and level, because the Syrians are at another frequency and another level. So when they came to Earth, they were able to, you know, ground themselves to this frequency, to become physical, to interact, to become a part of the world around them. But over time, you know, they started to die away because the energy became so heavy, so dense from that great wave that came in that kind of shut all spirituality down, made people have to start from scratch or just become totally stuck and engulfed in it altogether. So a lot of people here should have been advanced a long time ago. It just never did. And some of them still are a part of the Syrian family, only they don't know because the secret won't be revealed. You know, just like a lot of the angelic human hybrids that were here, they were kept secret for so very long. Nobody told them, because of their blood type or their bloodline, that that's who they were. They just kept it totally under wraps, and they track them and watch after them. So it's the same way. We have beings that are not of this world here, and we have souls that were incarnated here to awaken those others, to say, hey, wake up, you don't really belong in this atmosphere or this environment. You need to wake up and use your wisdom while you have it here to help others or advance this world or its technology or its medical field or its legal system, and then to go on home by raising their own vibration again. But the problem is that they have trouble doing so, because once they become so grounded into 3D, it's hard to get their vibration back up until they're ready to awaken. And unfortunately, with the powers here, they have just totally suppressed a lot of people and a lot of things. But the Syrians lived here for so very long with many other star seeds and star groups, and they themselves, delivered a great deal of wisdom that was attributed to places like Atlantis, with other star races working together with angelic beings to try to get this world up off the ground. Not to really advance it really fast, but that's what started to happen. And mankind, they started to get those glitches of energy in their consciousness that led them into a more negative outlook of wanting power for themselves. They wanted it for themselves, and those beings weren't willing to give away all of their secrets. So man went on its quest trying to find those secrets on their own, to be their own rulers, their own gods, without needing any help. So it's kind of like getting somebody, right? Let's say you have a spiritual teacher, and your spiritual teacher tells you, well, you're not ready for that yet. And you know in your heart that that's really what you want, and you want to be ready, so you tell yourself you are. And then your teacher says, no, but really you're not ready yet. You're not fully ready yet. And now you say, well, kiss my butt because I said I am. And now they ditch that teacher, and they're on their quest to find the answers themselves, digging around, trying to find the answers. And they start to grow, and they start to grow, and they start getting really egotistical about it. And they say, well, see, I knew I didn't need you because I've already grown. But little do they know that what they have grown is not in the area of which they needed to grow. They've grown in more wisdom about here, more human wisdom that's been projected out there. And there's no money. The even exchange comes in what you contribute to that environment there in Sirius. So thank you so much. I love you all. The Syrians are wonderful people, very peaceful. They are people that don't like confrontation. They do get a little paranoid, a little fearful sometimes, but they are extremely wise, and they're willing always to work with others. They have a great attraction to anything that has a telepathic type of connection to it. They love things like dolphins, because dolphins have that sonar, which is a lot like how they speak with that light language. It's always done in tones and frequencies. A lot of those star realms are, only they have their own language. It's not always the same language, guys. I know a lot of you think that light language is the same all over. No, each and every reality has its own language, and some of it actually is language. It's just different tones and different frequencies, just like our language is, but our language is based on a program. Just like every letter has its sound that is corresponded with a number. That number then corresponds with a system. That system can then be translated into sound or sacred geometry. I mean, it's a program. It really is. The number system, the letter system, it is a program. So they have that too. And dolphins have a very similar type of connection, because they are telepathic in the way they communicate with one another, empathic in the way they keep one another close and feel what one another goes through, and they do communicate through that pitch of tone. They really do. Love and light. May you all be blessed.